death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and this people, to the land which I am giving them, the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your feet will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. Let's go to Jeremiah 29. Stay with me. 11 through 13. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and go and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And you will hear me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. We're almost done. Romans 5, 2 through 5. Through whom also we have access by faith into grace, in which we stand and rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. And not only that, that we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. Now hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts by the Holy Spirit who was given to us. Last place, Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. It'll make sense in a minute. Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, still in the New King James Version. The end of a thing is better than its beginning. You can take your seats. I find it interesting that God would speak strategically to these characters. He speaks to Joshua and he gives him his instructions. Then he speaks to Jeremiah and he tells him what's on his mind. Then he talks to Paul in a dirty dungeon and he begins to write a letter telling us no matter what you're enduring, I'm working it out. But then finally he tells Solomon, the end looks better. So I stand here this morning as I use for a subject. I wrestled with this subject for 3 days. I changed it, but now it's God's. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm at a critical point. Approaching a season of change. Tell another neighbor, my God, I'm at a critical point. I want you to think about that thing that God has spoken. You've heard God say, this is what he's going to do. This is the way you're going to get there. And I want you to just tell yourself again, I'm at a critical point. So we see in the book of Joshua where Moses now has died. Moses is dead. You looked at me strange this morning because you were in my message. And you said, you look a little strange when I said what I said. And I said, well, that's the Holy Ghost confirming some things. We all know the story of Moses and how God uses him mightily to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt and how he leads them through the parting of the Red Sea. And then we see where God sets before him the laws, which we call the 10 Commandments. And then God finally does something that's just wild and crazy. He shows Moses himself. He does something that we've not seen and we don't really get to see. But he tells Moses, go over there between that rock right there. I'm going to show you myself. I can't show you my face because you won't live, but I'll show you my back. So now we understand that we are in a critical place now because Moses is dead. Look at the situations and look at what's going on in your life. Are you trying to resurrect something that's dead? Are you trying to keep something going that no longer exists, where God says, I'm trying to move you into another realm of my glory, but you still want to resurrect something dead. You're praying to God. You're telling God, well, this is what you said, but you don't you don't sense the change. That's because his glory no longer rests there. His glory no longer rests in that space. My God. But one of the things I understand, and if you haven't noticed it now, I heard God say, I'm doing a new thing. And it springs forth now. Can't you feel it? Can't you see it? If you think about it, we're in the month of October and we're still experiencing 90 and 100-degree weather. Some of us are still wearing sandals. I'm doing a new thing. And it's springing forth right now. Tell your neighbor, this transition, it don't feel that good. Tell another neighbor, I'm in transition. So we see that this is critical. So God says to Moses, arise and go. Has God told you to go and you still sitting by the wayside and you're trying to work it out with God? You're trying to reason with God? Tell him how you're going to do it? Yeah, some of us are telling God, well, God, this is what you said, so I'm just going to sit right here. When God told you, go ahead and turn in the resignation papers, but you decided that you would stay a little longer. When God told you to go ahead and apply to the job, but you decided, I'll go over here. I'm not going to mess with y'all this morning. So God says to Joshua, arise and go. Every place that your feet touch, I have given you. I like that word given because I looked it up in the Hebrew and the Greek. And in the Hebrew it said thrust. But in the Greek it said pour. God is trying to pour some things out on you in this critical season, but you don't have your ears open. You're sitting still. You still on the telephone, trying to tell somebody else how it should be done. They don't treat me right. You're giving us excuses. But this is critical. You're still picking up the phone. Let me not mess with that there. This is critical. But I like Joshua because Joshua is our present day millennial. He reminds me of my 15-year-old now. When he tells me, I told him on Friday, I said, you think you all that? He said, I am all that. And I almost told him that he wasn't, and I had to catch myself. I said, you're right. You all that. But Joshua is our present day millennial because we see that millennials just do it. They don't reason. They don't sit down and try to figure it out. They don't get a Charlie Brown syndrome and say, woe is me. They just do it. And we see that Joshua, when God told him to go, what did he do? He went. He's our example of just doing what God said. So I want to ask you this morning, what has God told you? He told you to just do it. You didn't reason. You don't think about it. You don't worry about the naysayers because they gonna talk. You just do it. And I like Joshua because that's what Joshua says. So somebody's saying, Franshon, what are you saying? What is it that you're really saying? Many of us are going through transitions right now. But the one thing we understand about a transition is that it represents a change in the dynamics of a system. You won't be where you were yesterday. You might not be where you're sitting today tomorrow because God is constantly changing. But you got to get in the flow of what God is doing. Somebody say it's critical. It's critical that I hear God. It's critical in this season that I do something that I've never done before. So somebody asked me, well, Sister Franshon, what is it that I do? This is the season where you hook up with an intercessor. This is the season where you begin to turn down your plate and you tell God, I want it really bad. This is the season where you say, you know what? For God I live and God I die. This is the season where nothing else matters. This is the season where you forget about all the little itty-bitty things, the little elementary things, and you grow up and you man up and you woman up because God said, I got you. I'm doing a new thing. Can't you see that it's springing forth right now? It's happening before your eyes. But instead we get on the bandwagon they don't like me. We sit there and we waste time trying to figure people out. Why? Just be you. We're in a system of change, and things are changing constantly. So here's where when you say, you know what, I don't know what to do. So you do like I do. You grab somebody like Apostle Lewis, who just loves God and does nothing but pray all the time. And then I said, oh gosh, she do a whole lot of, I don't know if I can do all that. Who will text me in the night and in the day and say, this is what we're going to pray. We're going to pray all night. And I'm like, oh God, I got schoolwork. I got kids. This is critical. How bad do you want it? So you do something that makes you uncomfortable. You do something that makes you tired. You do something where you look like you, but God, come on, and he energizes you. So when you begin to soak a little bit, you get the energy that you need. And when God gives you the word, like he did me, he don't give you the word to 3 a.m. and you just get up in the morning, you get an hour and a half sleep, and you say, you know what? Woo, I feel good because I've been with God. Because I understand that this moment and this time is critical. It's necessary. It's more than my current food. It's more than me having to have a hamburger or having a full course meal. And you begin to look at everything in your life as the assignment that God has given you. And then you begin to pull on God and you say, God, what is it? What do you need me to do next? How do you want me to do this thing? And you begin to line up and you find that place is, it's tight. It doesn't feel good. You got to manage it. You stop managing your life. You stop worrying. I looked at, I'm telling on myself, I said I wasn't going to tell this. A few months ago, I lived in a big old house. My son is probably like, Mama, why? Lived in a big old house. And we had plenty of room. Whole lot of room. But then there become some days, then I messed around and got in this church where I got to drive 30 minutes away, and I'm committing myself to assignment, and I'm saying, what are you doing? You spending money. Y'all eating out all the time because you need to be in prayer on Wednesday. You need to be at the church on Saturday morning. So I always call my mom. And she says, what are you and those boys doing? Look like every morning. I'm talking to y'all at 7 o'clock in the morning. What are y'all doing at 7? Oh, well, my mom on the way to leadership meeting. You got the children with you? Yes, because it's critical. It's necessary. The assignment that God has me on is necessary. So I travel, and then I start looking at my finances, and I said, well, God, you got it. I'm paying my tithes. I'm being a good steward. So you got it. And I would find myself about 5 or 6 months, and I started looking at my finances, and I said, there is no way I should have been able to do this. There was no way I should have been able to travel from Graniteville to Grovetown, stay at work, pick up kids. Oh, son, we got to be at the church. What you got to do? 7 days on assignment, doing what's necessary. Because I thought and I knew that it was necessary. It was more than just about Franshon. So then I messed around, and here I am, and taking these classes, and I'm a full-time student, and God shows me something so wild that it just blows my mind. I knew I turned in the assignments every time late. Every assignment, and I'm not glorying in that. I want you to hear what God is saying. Every assignment in this class was late. I had never done that. But I didn't have a worry in the world because I was on assignment. I was doing the will of God. I was doing what he sent me to do. 2 of those assignments, the instructor sent back to me and said, if you do X, Y, Z, then, I'll give you, credit for it. But at the end of the class, I'm sitting because I can't wait to open it up. I think I was sitting next to Elder Barnes or Minister Bridges. I couldn't wait Sunday to open up, the blackboard so I could see my grade. Well, my grade was, it's done on a point system. So it was 833 points. I was like, yes, I got a B. I was happy. But then I went back in there and I looked again the next day. And I had 922 points. And I said, now that's an A. I get an A. When I looked again, the instructor had held the 2 assignments. And he posted them later. Pushing me where I need to be. To the A. All because it was critical. God's work, God's assignment. I put him before me. Oh my God, come on. So I want to ask you, could it be that you are your own enemy? I'm not talking about the enemy, I'm talking about the inner me. Could it be that you're the problem? Not everybody else, but you're considering, oh God, I got to get to the house and do this. And I'm so sick of them people at the church. They always asking me to do this and always asking me to do that. Because you're thinking about yourself. Oh, come on. So let me wrap this up. As I begin to look at this word transition, I thought about it in the English language when you're talking about a transition. It brings a cause and an effect together. John went to the store because he needed some food. Napoleon, you're at MCOG because you're on assignment. So he brings 2 things together that are necessary. But a transition, many times most of us stop at the transition. Christian, go take out the trash. What? But because that don't go together. It should have been yes, ma'am. But that's what we do. Elder Barnes, Leslie, I need you to, I got 2 Leslies in here, that one and that one back there. Leslie, I need you to be at MCOG at 8 a.m. in the morning to hear what I'm getting ready to say. Okay. Not God, that's early. That's real early. So I want to ask you in this critical hour, what is it? How bad do you want what God has for you? Is the assignment on your life, do you consider it more than your necessary food? We're in a critical hour. There is so much happening in this world. We turn on the news and somebody's killed, somebody's shot every single day. Bad accidents, everything. But what is it God is saying to you in this hour? What is it that he keeps speaking to you over and over and over and over? You can't sleep. Every time you pick up a piece of food, you think to yourself, oh, I don't need to be eating. That's God telling you, you know what? You need to fast. You keep running into the same thing over and over. And you keep coming to the same blocks. And you're trying to figure out, why is my finances failing? You're trying to figure out, why is it that I can't make it from point A to point B? Why is it that every time I turn on, every 6 months, I got to uproot my family and move again? I'm on this job and these people don't like me. God's assignment. I want to encourage you today that the assignment that is on your life, where God is taking us, sometimes you can't see. You got to be like that cat. A cat's whiskers feels for him in the dark. They become his eyes. I like the cat because the cat walks like this. Many of us need to be like that in the spirit realm. You should be just walking and saying, God, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I trust you. I don't know what the next move is, but I'm going to trust the process. Sometimes it does not go my way, but I trust you. I'm not going to lose heart because I'm going to link up with Sister Bridges because I see that she can sharpen me in this area, so I'm going to tag on to her. We're going to get together in the middle of the night and we're going to beat the devil over the head and pray at the same time. Something that he doesn't expect us to do. And we're going to war in the spirit because I need a little strength. I can't do this by myself. So I'm going to link up with somebody who has a little bit more strength than me because my assignment is necessary. Can I tell you something about your assignment? It's way bigger than you. It's something that you can't even fathom. In fact, you do it kind of nervously. There's something that God has me on, and I waited 3 years to do it. And he told me to put my hands on 2 ladies, and they've been pushing me. And at first, I was going like this. But guess what? When I submitted, I just started walking with them. I don't know where the finance is coming from, but I trust you. So I started walking in the spirit and tearing down everything that the enemy would come up against me with. Every wall, I knock it down. Because I'm in charge. He said that he has given me the authority to tread upon serpents. Come on, he's given me that authority. He's given me dominion in the earth. I'm in charge. Not the devil. I'm the shot caller. He's given me the authority. Not the devil. Some of us are such wimps. Some of us are such wimps. Whew. This thing messed me up last night because I said, God, I want to see your glory. And I said, you know what? If Moses can see your glory, why can't I? So I began to just get in prayer and soak. I don't know if any of you understand a little bit about soaking, but it's one of those little, some Minister Bridges, I'm going to tell on her, she introduced me to, so when we get ready to pray at night, it does me like this. I can't even pray no more. You need to hook up. I want you to grab somebody by their hand. Because this is critical. The things that God is assigning us to do are things that we've not done before. Things that make our just boggle our mind. We can't even sleep with this thing that God is giving us. I want you to put your mind on the thing that God has given you, that assignment. And just for just a moment, I need y'all to give me some war music. I just want you to charge the atmosphere just a little bit. That's what I need right there. God, we don't know how you're gonna do this thing, but I want you to just begin to pray for the person next to you. I want you to begin to push them into their assignment. Let them know that, you know what, God, I got this. This is the season where you hook up with an intercession because God is aligning us. God is elevating us. And in order for us to be elevated, we've got to push through the things that try to block us in the spirit. Little things, subtle things that have nothing to do with God. God, we thank you this morning that you are charging us on this assignment. God, we thank you this morning that no weapon that's been formed will be able to prosper. God, we thank you this morning that you are the head of this assignment, not us. God, we thank you this morning that we submit totally to your will. You can let their hand go. Just begin to praise God. Come on. Thank him in advance like you already have it. Come on. Come on, tell God I thank you. Come on, tell God to do something crazy and wild in your life. Come on, this is that moment where God lets you be superwoman. Where God lets you be superman. Come on, where you get your strength. Hey, God. Gotta go. When you hear the chatter in the spirit, when you begin to hear all the chattering in the spirit, go into your secret closet. Push. I just want to encourage your hearts this morning. Turn down your plate. Grab a hold of another warrior so that you can go in to the enemy's camp and take back what's already yours. Some of us have willfully given the enemy our keys. But this morning you need to take them all the way back. So I just want to encourage your hearts this morning as I close. I know that this is a critical time for many of us. Some of us have moved from one house to another. Some of us have moved from one job to another. Even ministry is you're at a crossroad, and I don't mean a crossroad as in trouble. You're experiencing the weight of his glory, the weight of the assignment, and you're trying to figure it out. Don't get frustrated. Charles Jenkins said it best. I just want him to just play just a little bit of this. Glory, glory, glory. When you're frustrated and you're waiting to hear what God says, I want you to know that you already have the victory. I dare you to worship God. Where do you go? Keep the faith. It's we're in a critical hour. Trust God.